What's up, guys? It's Brad coming to you tonight. We're talking about some OTCs in relation to our OTC stock chat, in affiliate with TechBud Solutions. Ricky Gutierrez is the leader of TechBud Solutions, and I'm one of the branches off of that main channel. And we have our own chat group within the main chat, just called OTC Markets. And I will provide a link down below. And one thing that I ask of you guys to do, since this is still the beginning for me, and I need somebody to hold me accountable and just count all the times and say because I can't promise you I won't say it. But anyway, just kind of wanted to run by what was going on today within our chat group, and maybe kind of give you some pointers on what we might be looking for in the future, tomorrow, and beyond. So let's get started. Try not to make this too boring for you. And so let's go. All right, let's see here. So we were looking at today. Here's my watch list. It's super long. We were watching a VNRSQ, which is Vanguard here. Kind of give you an idea of what was going on. This gained some traction on Friday, and some of us were looking at it, calling it out on Friday afternoon. They had settled bankruptcy issue that they were going through. Turned out that they are now worth about $10 billion or so. We found this out by going on the OTC markets and typing that in. And you can also see this is one rare instance where it's actually shown on the TD Ameritrade site too. I guess it was just big news enough for them to put it up on here. And right here you can see the settlement with ad hoc. It's just basically jargon for legal. Most of us did not get in on that on Friday. We saw what was going to happen early enough on where we kind of bought in based off of momentum, kind of like what Connor does. And you'll find that we do a lot of that in OTCs as well. Another good way we look and scan for, or at least I do, scan for stocks here, is Investors Hub. Investors Hub's a really great tool to look at stocks that not everybody else is talking about on mainstream, as far as the big three trading platforms go, and the regular exchanges. My mentor is a huge part of Investors Hub. I'm not doing a plug for Investors Hub or anything. I'm just using it simply because it's a very great tool to use when looking up OTCs. What I like to do is I go into the breakout boards, see what's being talked about. And if you'll see, as soon as it comes up, any day now, there we go. So Vanguard's right up here at the top. The rate that it's being talked about has gone up over 1,200%. So naturally, took a look here. We can see that it went up over 115% here today. It's actually a pretty cool tool to use. If you go into the stock itself, every OTC stock that's out there actually has its own profile on Investors Hub. So it's pretty neat. I really enjoy using it. The guy that I've pretty much learned just about everything from when it comes to trading OTCs, is pretty heavily active into this website, because if you're trading OTCs, you need to be in here. So here's what everybody's talking about here. Something to be careful about, and it's why we preach this all the time with Tech Buds, is that there's a lot of chatter going on in here, which means some of it might be factual, some of it might not be, but this is why it's so important for you to do your own homework, to do your own due diligence, which is what I try to do here, and then I relay it to all of our folks on our chat group, and some of us make that decision together, some of us choose to hold back, and that's perfectly okay. Just want to make sure that you guys are all doing your very own homework and you're making decisions based solely on your own analysis and research. I did that here. A lot of other folks did that as well. Kyle Finlater on our chat group is a really great asset that we have, and it has really done a lot to help benefit the chat. There's a lot of newcomers on, and a lot of newcomers within our group. And he's just really taken on the role of just kind of like helping those who maybe don't know what's going on as far as OTCs, because they can be really finicky. They don't react like a normal traditional stock goes, especially if you're used to seeing Ricky's videos. And he kind of helps me along really voluntarily. I haven't really asked much of him. He just naturally helps others here within the group. It's just a really great asset to have. So special shout out to Kyle. Love that guy. Kind of keeps me in check sometimes because I can get a little excited about a certain stock or whatever, and he's always the one that says, let's take a step back and see what's really going on here. So in regard to that, some stocks that I would encourage you to look at and do some homework on. TONR. That's a love-hate relationship I've had with this stock so far, but I'm still hanging in there. There's a conference call that's supposed to be had here within the next week or so. They're going to be talking about some big news that they said that they was going to be released during that conference call. Oftentimes you'll see the momentum gets greater and greater up to the news, and then everybody sells the news. That's typically what happens. Sometimes the news actually causes it to increase. So we want to make sure they're watching out for that as well. Fortunately, we have enough folks within our chat group who are constantly calling out what's going on within certain stocks that we're all looking at. So make sure you subscribe to our not subscribe, but just sign on to our chat. I'll go ahead and leave the link in the description for you so you can join us. With that, I would like to say that I do appreciate your patience with all that. I have gotten so many messages about, hey, I can't get into this chat group. You're telling me, you're providing the link. I'm clicking on here. It says that I can't get in. Well, there was a limitation. We reached 1,000 members, and GroupMe decided to, put a limit on the amount of members we want in there. And the only way to get that limit lifted was to basically just ask them to do it. It took about 24, 48 hours to get that situated. But I lifted the limit, and now the limit's at 10,000. Sounds like a lot. If it gets to be too much, what I might do is suggest that we split it off into subgroups, kind of like what we did from the main chat with Tech Buds. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. So some other stocks to look for tomorrow. I went over TONR, FNHI. Franchise Holdings, they just announced they eliminated $180,000 in debt. So they are debt-free, which is pretty unheard of in OTCs. That's definitely one to watch for. There's been a lot going on with that particular stock as of late, and this is just another big deal for them. Also, my buddy Nick Crowley will appreciate this. We're going to be cautiously optimistic with AMLH. AMLH, if you guys aren't familiar with that, AMLH is a esports media company. They are set to be probably the next ESPN of the esports world. If you're unfamiliar with esports, I would encourage you to just maybe Google it, kind of get yourself familiar with what esports is, because this is the future, people. People, like young people, they are all about their video games. They're attracting millions, and I mean hundreds of millions of viewers every year, and it is growing like crazy, the industry itself. And the CEO of American Leisure Holdings actually was on one of the previous bachelorettes. He was one of the bachelors. Didn't make it, but Christian Bishop is the CEO of this company. He's a really great guy. They just had a meeting with Bloomberg today, which is why you can see this slight increase today. They've been having some issues with dilution, which is why I've kind of been staying away from it. It was really great there in the beginning when they didn't have those dilutive issues. Went all the way up to a penny, and then came all the way back down into the teens. It really looked like it was going to drop into triple zeros. I was really afraid of it. Nick Crowley, however, within our chats, has been in this thing for the long haul, and I really got to give him some credit. Not exactly the strategy that I would have done, but he's just hanging in there for the long haul, and we'll see. I think it's going to work out for him. I think it's going to work for anybody who plans on investing in AMLH for the long term. I just really have a lot of faith in that company. Just for right now, I'm just going to sit back and watch and see what happens, because we don't know how many outstanding shares are still out there. If that number drops, obviously it'll be easier for AMLH to move a little bit, because right now it's borderline bloated pig. We'll go into what actually a bloated pig is in a later video. We're also going to go over some level 2 stuff as well, which reminds me to my next point. Leave some comments for me in this video with some questions about what you want me to go over next. Do you want me to go over level 2 stuff? Do you want me to go over other stocks, how we find these? I went over a little bit of how we found these stocks today at the end of last week, but just some other stuff, stuff that I can't think of. I need your guys' help to figure out what you want me to talk about, because this is all about you and you learning, and really me learning too. I don't know anything about making a video. I'm doing the best I can. So if you guys have any suggestions as far as how to edit this thing, what I need to do, something that's easier than what I'm doing now, I would really appreciate it, because I'm working with what I got, which ain't a whole lot. So I really appreciate your guys' support. I appreciate you being patient with the chat room limitations there. And thanks, guys. That's all I got for you tonight. I will try to be more consistent with the video uploads, but it's the summertime. I got a day job I got to deal with, and so I also got school coming up. I got one more year left, and it can't come soon enough. So anyway, guys, hope you all have a good night. Have a great week, and B. Smith is out.